Welcome to my vlog. Join me as I build my company, create some cool shit, and share life along the way. Landing in your inbox every Tuesday at 9. Hey guys, welcome back to the vlog. I believe this is episode 4, and you would have seen last week our part 2 of New York. Well, it's been a little while since we went to New York, but we're back on the road again. So I am getting my packing game on. We're heading to Grand Prairie, which is where I was born and raised in Alberta, and we are gonna go see my parents, and my dad is running for city council there. So we're gonna help out with his campaign a bit, and then we're gonna head to New York to see Rupi's book launch and Tribeca, the official launch, do a bit of research for our Ottawa event. And then I head to Vermont for my first keynote of the fall and of being back at work. So you guys are going to be joining. This episode is actually, I'm going to take you on a bit of a tour of our property here and share some of my reflections on the past few weeks of work and what I've been learning about my work style and how I would change things mentality-wise. So stay tuned, gonna keep packing, and then gonna head out back with y'all. Y'all, oh my god, I'm actually heading back to Alberta. I just said y'all. Okay, bye. How hot is it?
So 30. Ow, oh my nail.
You okay? We're all packed up. I'm gonna take you guys for a walk to the garden. If my Joby stays, well, this little stand thing that I'm using, it's moving all around. But Mitch was just saying it's super hot and I'm wearing this jacket because we're heading to cold weather and now I'm gonna melt. Oh my god, it's so hot. It's like 30 degrees and it's the end of September and I don't understand. Join me for this fun montage as we go back to the garden. Yes. Welcome to one of my creative dens. It's lovely. Sometimes spiders are in here, but for the most part, it is heated and I get a good breeze. Love it! Here is the garden. This is how we get into said garden. Got tons of stuff growing. Some peppers, lots of lettuce, radishes, turnips. Look at our corn, it's coming along. Our little corn is growing. Tomatoes coming up. Carrots, lots of delicious and beautiful stuff. This week's Heart to Heart is brought to you by this zit. So I brought you guys out here because something that's been tough for me to navigate has been, in this process of going back to work, has been balance. I kind of had a realization, and I was talking about it with my trainer and my therapist, and realized that the past 9 months, the healing that I've done, the work that I've done to get better has been so important and so key for me to recover from a severe illness. I was diagnosed with optic neuritis. I lost vision in my left eye. In 60% of optic neuritis cases, it's related to multiple sclerosis. So I had to go through a brain MRI and all of these different things to rule out MS and continue to be monitored for the next few years to see if there's any other progressions with some of the things they found in my brain. So I've really spent the last 9 months like healing, recovering after the craziness that was last year, the highest of highs, the lowest of lows, cancer, going to the White House, releasing the film. You guys all know. A lot of you guys have been following me for a long time. And so when I went back to work 2 weeks ago with Kylie, I I knew something was going to come up. I knew there was going to be things I had to learn, habits I had to change, things I had to adjust about myself. But I didn't really know what those were going to be going into it. Part of this healing journey has been, as I've kind of taken multiple steps back, every time I work to take another step forward, it's like I'm feeling out, what are my limitations? What are my boundaries? What am I working through here? What can I do to gently test my boundaries? And so you guys saw the first newsletter. Now, this is the 4th vlog, so 4 weeks ago. And I spent 16 hours the day before that first newsletter came out working on it with Rhaenyra, getting all of our branding figured out. I was up till 4 a.m. exporting. I haven't edited in a while. I'm using Creative Cloud for Premiere, little things that I had to figure out to get better at it. And that took me some time. But having your first Monday of your time back at work be a 16-hour day after recovering from severe illness, it can take a toll on the body. So that week progressed with me getting a little bit under the weather by the end of the week, and realizing, okay, we need to pivot. Kylie, you know, is very thoughtful about where I'm at, and as a leader, it's important that I ensure that my employee and the people around me. One sec, babe! We're about to head to the airport, so I'm gonna wrap this up in a minute. I just want to ensure that the people around me don't have to worry about me, but that comes from taking care of myself. What?
I packed up the bag. Can I lock up the house?
Yeah, I'm vlogging.
Okay.
The biggest thing is I want to ensure that the people around me don't have to worry about my health. It's ultimately my responsibility. I'm an adult. This is something that shouldn't be the responsibility of the people around me. So in order to do that, I have to take full responsibility of my actions and how I'm behaving when it relates to work. So that was week 1. Week 2, last week, was a lot better. We spent more time in the office than I had thought we would. And at the end of the week, Kylie and I kind of chatted with one another and did a touch base. And as I said, like I mentioned to my therapist and physical trainer, that I realized that one of the biggest motivations of mine to get better this past 9 months is, what's the minimum level of health I have to get to in order for me to get back to work. That's been my main fire. How can I get stable enough to work again? Not, you know, how do I ensure that I don't get unhealthy again or sick again? Not, hey, like, this was a big wake-up call, maybe I should adjust different parts of my life. Like, that happened. I don't want to undermine the kind of progress that I've made. I mean, we moved back to Ottawa, I have a garden now. This is why I wanted to vlog this from the garden, as a reminder to myself of, like, as I look forward to how I want to build this company, I've decided that for the next however many months, I'm going to work 15 to 20-hour weeks. In between, I'm going to keep cultivating habits that I've always wanted to have. I'm going to sign up again for a volleyball team. I mean, I'm a certified yoga instructor. I want to get back to yoga. I want to get back to feeling and being in my body. Something that I've been avoiding because it's been so painful all the time, because it's been through so much trauma. And so there's an intentionality that I now want to bring to how I work, because I can. I am creating the culture of this company, and when I think of, like, the longevity of what Kylie and I want to do, and how, you know, I've said this to Kylie, is like, you're not going to need a resume again. This is it. We're going to do this. This is life. And we have to start thinking about the long game. And as I've been describing the company and starting to determine the mission, there's Mitch.
Let's roll.
Okay, I'm going to take you guys into the car and we'll finish this conversation on the road. So, coming back to the concept of a legacy company, legacy brand, I've been putting this out there as, like, my feelers, testers for how I want to describe KoMedia and how I want to describe what I and me and Kylie are trying to do next. And an importance to legacy, or a key part of legacy, is longevity. And something that I've noticed in my behavior with the way that I work on projects, or just patterns in my life, are I go really hard for 2 to 3 years and then I crash. And I go really hard for 2 or 3 years and then I crash. It just so happens that this time my crash entailed cancer and optic neuritis. And it's made me reevaluate how much I'm willing to crash. So with that in mind, yeah, it's these 15 to 20 hour weeks. It's doing really thoughtful check-ins with Kylie and with myself. It's now actually starting to walk every day and do yoga and spend some really wonderful time with this guy when we're not rushing to the airport in true Coco and Mitch style.
Yeah, it's kind of a staple in it.
And it's just about really like leveling up. Roz, my coach.
You're a warlock or a shaman.
Yeah.
You gotta level up your skills.
I'm gonna become a centaur now. Is that leveled up?
Hell yeah.
So Roz, my coach, she reminds me that healing happens in layers. We're all onions. We heal layer by layer. So, you know, a lot of it was physical, acute pain and stress and illness that I was dealing with at first. And then it became more like, let's look at long-term life habits that you need to unlearn or patterns that you need to unlearn. And now it's going to, how do we bring this into the present moment? How do I amplify being present? And for me moving forward, that's looking at my weeks and integrating my whole life into them. So that concept of balance, I often hate the word balance, but it's come back into my life now. So these 15 to 20 hour work weeks, these volleyball matches, these hangs with our friend. I want to sign up for volleyball again. Do it. These walks, swimming, yoga, because I physically can't, my joints aren't strong enough just yet to get back to weight training. We're gonna slow and steady do that through calisthenics with my trainer. We're working on it. Continuing my acupuncture, all these things, but not just thinking of the things I'm doing outside of work as the things I need to do to have a minimum viable Komal so that I can work. Because that's really how I used to think about it, is like, what's the minimum amount of like health related things, appointments, things that I have to do to keep going and so that I can go back to work and so that I can be functional in the office. It's like pivoting that thought process to, how do I live the life of my dreams? I have all the elements of it. I have people who love me, a relationship that I've been in for 9 years that brings me so much love and so much joy and so much happiness. Being, like, I don't ever need to worry about working hard because it's my nature. Like, I don't think I know how to do anything but that. So that variable gets taken out and now it's like, okay, how do I work smarter? How do I live a full life? And coming back to my why of, I just really am so grateful for the opportunity to have a second go at this. When you get that sick, like, life takes on a different quality. It takes on a different meaning. And I don't want to waste a second. And then redefining what it means to waste a second. Before that would have been like, oh, I gotta be working all the time. Now it's like, no, just enjoying the shit out of every second. You love that voice? What was that voice? I don't really know. So I thought this week was a good week to kind of check in like this, because you guys are seeing the vlogs. Like, I mean, you saw New York part 1, part 2, but there's all these moments in between of us in the office, of us working, of me getting used to this again. And I think we all need that gentle reminder that it's a process. Starting a business is a process. Getting healthy again is a process. Maintaining a happy mindset is a process. And that every once in a while we all just gotta check in. And from the garden to the road and back to the airport, that's us checking in.
Yeah.
So we'll see you guys next week, where you'll get a little glimpse of what we were up to in Grand Prairie, and a little bit of my dad's city council campaign, I'm sure. And I'm gonna give you guys a montage of our trip just so you can see my mom picking us up at the airport, because she's so cute. All right, love you guys. Until next week, check in with yourselves. Ask yourselves what you can shift in your life to make it more meaningful and not even productive, more fulfilling for you.
Resilient.
Not the appropriate word at that time, but resilience is important. I'll give Mitch the final word. So you didn't get a montage, but now you see my mom being 20 minutes late. Come on. Hi, city councilor. You have to say something inspirational and cute.
Komal, don't put me on that spot, okay?
What is the most important thing in life?
Loving my kids.
But being 20 minutes late to the airport to pick them up.
3 minutes early.
Yo, hook me up with another sign.
There you go. Thank you.